This activities of the self-contraction is at the root of identifying with the body-mind. Notice I didn't say your body-mind. It's the body-mind. Being a victim is identifying with the body-mind. And it's that being a victim that is creating all of your suffering, all of your dilemma, all of your doubts, fears, anxieties. Are you any of these objects that you see around yourself? Are you this body-mind? No. So, are you your body-mind? No. You're not your body-mind. Just as you are not your car, even though you say it's your car. That's my car. Or that's my television. Or that's my plant. Or that's my glass of water. We say that these things are ours, but we don't identify with them. That's my glass of water, but I'm not the glass of water. That's my car, but I'm not the car. And due to the fact that we are not any of these objects and things, we can see clearly what we can see. We can see clearly the car. We can see clearly if there's a dent in the car. We can see clearly if the windscreen is dirty. We can see clearly whether it needs any fuel or not. We see clearly. But as long as you identify with the body-mind, you're not seeing clearly. It might have some aches and pains. It might have an illness or something, just as the car's got a dent. It's only because you identify with the body-mind, you've got this, but we've been taught, it's you. This is what you are, the body-mind. You're not the body-mind. You are consciousness. You are the heart. You are God. You are that which is prior to the aches and pains and all that the body-mind is. It's only because of the self-contraction that we think otherwise. When you are really at one with all that's arising, say when you go up on the hill, or go for a walk in the country, or having a beautiful relationship with your spouse, or when you see a lovely film, you're forgetting yourself. You're forgetting about that identification. You're forgetting to be a victim. When you truly are at one with whatever's arising right now. As I said, I am not your body-mind. You are not this body-mind. In fact, you are none of these body-minds. You are what is consciousness. And consciousness is awareness. The open hand disposition is what we truly are. Everyone at times is the open hand disposition. But the realization that we truly are this hasn't been realized by many people. millions and billions of people, past and present, have lived a lie. Why else do we have these enlightened beings, these spiritual masters, Buddha, Jesus, Lazu, Krishna, Muhammad, all these people, these prophets, claiming to have realized something greater? It's this disposition. Only from that disposition can we see clearly. This is a lie. It's false. This is still an open hand, even though it's clenched. It's still the open hand. Don't identify with the clenchedness and its results, for as long as one does, one will continue to seek for happiness in the conditional world. Oh, that made me happy. For a short period of time, perhaps it did. But it didn't make you happy. You just became your natural self. As I said in the previous video, the windscreen, although it's dirty, is never, ever changed. The dirt does not change the windscreen. The grime on the windscreen, the smears on your spectacles, it does not change one iota. This glass, it's got some smears on, which it has, some fingerprints, is still the pure, clean glass, which is prior to the smear. So the open hand disposition is prior to all of this nonsense. This is at the root of what we create. Egoically. From this disposition, we can still create, but it's not egoic. It's the divine creating. The open hand. When you lift something up, you've just created a different space. This glass here is not the same as the glass here. The glass is, but the order, what you see is different. This is all different. It's a new creation. So just as you can see what's required to repair the car, that it requires petrol, diesel, or electricity for its fuel, and you do something about it because you want the car to be in good order, or you want the car to take the body mind from A to B, then you care for it. You see what's needed. If you're unable to do it, you let a mechanic do it. That's how we should see the body mind. You do what you can do to keep it healthy and workable But most people, they use the body mind to fulfill themselves. They have a thought. I must do this, I must do that, I must get this. So the body mind carries that thought or that intention. Whereas in this, that's from that disposition. Whereas from this disposition, there is such a freedom. Which So whatever the body-mind does in this disposition, it's an activity of love and happiness and joy without any egoic intention. The hands begin to play with conditional life. There is just an enjoyment of living. Your life is heaven on earth. It's simple. You realize you don't need anything, as this seems to, from this disposition to make you happy, because you are already happy. And one can be already happy under all circumstances, no matter what's arising. So as a practitioner, which I am, I locate happiness now under all circumstances. I understand the activity of the self-interaction. I feel beyond it. I see the clean glass beyond the smear. And the grime. We look beyond it. When you're in the car driving, you look beyond the raindrops. You see beyond the smear. There will come the time that you have to actually clean the windscreen because it's got too dirty. But you have the knowledge that the windscreen is still there, even though it might be covered with grime and dirt. So that's what God is, the prior state. And then you become a vessel of love and a servant automatically, beyond all thoughts, beyond all bodily ailments. You're able to dance and be absolutely wild and ecstatic. When was the last time you were ecstatic? Just simply ecstatic, without any reason. The plants, they just grow according to their conditions. Is your body, I say yours, I continue to say that, is your body mind allowed to be ecstatic and happy and joyful and in love? Are your hands allowed to embrace whatever and love whatever it's its natural, inherent quality? These are the qualities of being God, real God, not that imaginary God that society teaches us in order to keep us in place. Ecstatics don't belong anywhere. Jesus didn't belong anywhere. He was an ecstatic. He wasn't the whimpering, pathetic-looking body on the cross. He was alive and kicking, and I say he was alive. His body-mind was being lived by that great spirit. We've got to get rid of this idea that you are a body-mind. The body-mind is just, I say just, it's a vehicle of God's expression and creativity. When there's no self, when there's no self-contraction, you can see God living the body-mind. The great pianists, the great actors, they're being lived. They're allowing the body-mind to be lived. And they will admit often, I don't know where that came from, the spontaneity of an jazz improvisation. God is spontaneous. There's a madness there. If I behave like this in society, in this club, that wouldn't be on, would it? I mean, I would be put in a straitjacket. That's clinical. That's a madness that we're not talking about. That comes from this place. But we can act. We can act like a madman. We can act like a great singer. Ya da 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 la la la. We can act like a great orator. This is about dementia. Thank you for listening. Dementia is one of the biggest health challenges of our time. It looks as if I'm acting, but it's being lived. Articulation of your words being lived. You are with the cutting of the bread. You are with the pouring of the water into the glass. You are with the brushing of your teeth. You are with all the bodily functions in the morning. You're there. You're not elsewhere. Thinking, chattering. My mind is still. These words aren't being thought about. Not from this disposition. What's your heart's intention? Do you like being a victim of your body-mind and its tendencies and its patternings? Aren't you fed up with doing doubt, boredom, discomfort, anxiety, fear, depression, unhappiness? Doing all these wants and desires, doing all this competitiveness with one another, doing all this hatred, doing this striving. Aren't you fed up with all that doing? I had a comment the other day on one of my videos. I love your videos, she said. I assume she. We aren't even the gender. We're not. That which we are was never born and will never die. Do you understand that? What we truly are is consciousness, capital C, real God. It's not accepted in society. I can't go and stand on a soapbox and tell everyone, you are God. I'd be put in the loony bin. It's a disposition, free of the self-contraction. And then we can come together without all the nonsense that we carry with it. My teacher, Adidal Samraj, said, leave your shoes at the door. In other words, leave all that muck, leave all those, leave your history behind. Leave it and just simply be happy with me. Be happy. All that's arising, no matter what. What if this was a real cigarette? You see, it doesn't make any difference to the open hand disposition what the body mind does and doesn't do. I'm not advocating have a poor, pathetic, whole diet. I'm not advocating smoking and drinking. I'm advocating keep the body mind in as good a condition as you possibly can, like you do with your car or the cleanliness of your house. But this does not ever, it's never tainted. This, that which was never born or will never die, is pure, already pure. It's already the case. It's already happiness. It's already, there's no history. The plain piece of paper right now is simply a plain piece of paper, irrespective of what's written on it. The clean, pure windscreen is what it is without any of that grime and dirt on it. It's the prior condition. Do you understand? It's nothing to do with whatever you think it has to do with. Do I look intelligent? Do I look sexy? There you are, that word. Sex has to come. Sex is all part and parcel of the functions of the body mind. Let's not be prudish. All the activities of the body mind, the functions of the body mind, is what they are. But this interferes. It contracts. This interferes with the organs of the body mind. This self-contraction. And it gets worse and it gets worse. As long as we're contracting, as long as we're separating ourselves from this disposition of love, happiness, joy. This is the great healer. It's no big deal. It seems to be a big deal. How do we get from here to here? Water is wet. You can't have non-wet water. Water is the quality. Wetness is the quality of water. Do you understand? The quality of plastic is this sort of slippery feeling, where you can glide over plastic. But the quality of this settee, or the quality of this pullover, there's a bit of a roughness. It's not that soft, not like cashmere. Everything's got a quality. Some have got more than one quality. That's inherent to the particular object or substance or liquid we're talking about. The quality of water is different to the quality of oil, for instance. And hotness and coldness, so hot water and cold water, there's a difference, but the water remains the same. The cold water's just been changed. The molecules, whatever. I'm not a scientist. People say you've got a good set of teeth, but in fact that one there is false. Sometimes I forget to put it in, but you were deceived possibly. We are often deceived. I wouldn't have any veneer on my teeth. Hate that whiteness. See, from this disposition, you can have likes and dislikes, but you don't. There's no identification with it. You can have a beautiful smell or awful smell under your armpit. Some people like awful smells. Whatever, there's no added self-contraction. That's what we're getting at. You're not adding the self-contraction. You're not doing the separation from this. You are living as you should be. Full of energy, life, ecstatic, intimacy. You're happy to do all the various behaviors. When you're on your own, there's a different behavior. To when you're in your kitchen, there's a different behavior. To when you're in bed, there's a different behavior. And when you're in your bathroom, there's a different behavior. Same body, mind, different behaviors. Same disposition, different behaviors. Different functions. When you're in the garden, there's a different behavior. When you're in the car, on the road, different behavior. You conform. The body-mind conforms. Different behavior driving in this country compared to France. Different behaviors doesn't necessarily mean a different disposition. However, when you're in that self-contracted place, you feel different. I don't feel very happy being there. Or I feel awful when I'm like there. Oh, no. All stemming from the self-contraction. No matter what the circumstance, no matter where you are, what you're doing, this disposition never, ever changes. The windscreen on the car never, ever changes. It's still the same. Water never, ever changes. H2O is just what water is. Wherever it is, you can add stuff to the water, nice cordial or something. The flavour is different. But the basic H2O has never been interfered with. If it's interfered with, then it's no longer water. Do you understand? Well, thank you for listening. There's more to come, no doubt. Doesn't he go on? Yesterday I was told I was an eccentric. I wanted to sing some songs while doing the yoga postures in this yoga class. Because the yoga teacher would say, now do this. So you stand there for another minute, doing whatever she's asked you to do if you can. If the body mind is up to it, I mean, the legs and the arms aren't the set right length sometimes for all these yogic positions. But don't add self-contraction. Let it be what it is. And I was hoping, as said under my breath, let's sing Old MacDonald while holding that posture. And so on. Life should be happy. It's only this that's preventing you from being happy. This victimizing, being a victim of the aches and pains, all that nonsense. God is the great healer. This disposition is the great healer. It is the divine doctor. And live so happily and ecstatic as if this were the last day. You see, there's no difference from one day to the next. There's no history here. No history. This is why people can say, I don't feel 80 years old. Or I don't feel 90 years old. It's this disposition they're talking about. Because it never gets older. It was never young and it was never old. It was never pure, it was never impure. soul. It's never born, it will never die. That's what's got to be realized. Thank you for listening. Boom, boom, boom. Or boom, boom, no, boom, boom, boom. Thank you. Blessings.